guys, how we doing? So we're back with another Swag Kage video. I was going through and I thought this one would be interesting. I haven't done this one before. This is 5 underrated Naruto characters. Interesting to see who Swag Kage thinks is underrated. Let's get into this.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Swag Kage here, and welcome to today's video. There's not much for me to say to preface it. The subject is pretty self-explanatory. It's about Naruto characters that I like, that I wish everybody else liked just a little bit more, but a few things I want to get out of the way before we start. The list isn't in any particular order, so I'm not going to be counting down from 5 up to 1 or anything like that. And obviously, there are going to be some of you who disagree with the choices for this list, who think certain characters would have fitted better. That's fine. I don't think I speak for everybody here, but I've wanted to make a video like this for a long time, because especially in the case of some of the characters on this list, I've never really received any opportunities to talk about why I like them at length, because nobody really gives a shit about them, and they weren't ever relevant to any of the video topics I had before. But today, I'm gonna have myself a bunch of fun talking about all of these relatively obscure characters that nobody's ever paid much attention to, and maybe hopefully changing a few people's minds about them. I think that takes care of everything I wanted to say beforehand, so without further ado, let's just get started. The first character I want to talk about is Dosu. This mummy-looking guy from part 1, worked under Orochimaru, got done super dirty. As a matter of fact, his whole team, I don't think they were done justice at all. Orochimaru used 2 of them as sacrifices for the Edo Tensei, and then Dosu just got fucking murdered by Gaara in his Shukaku form. And it was a really big shame, because I liked Dosu. He was one of my favorite characters, even when I was just a little kid. I always liked this guy. And when he got paired up with Shikamaru in the Chunin exams, I was geeked, because Shikamaru was another one of my favorite characters. I wanted to see these two go at it. Dosu struck me as a very clever fighter, somebody who was incredibly meticulous, who knew when to back off, knew when to approach, and he had a really cool power in the form of his sound attacks. His fight against Rock Lee was really cool. He just sort of went to town on him, and at the time that was pretty crazy because we had just seen Lee kick the snot out of Sasuke a couple episodes earlier. Then here comes Dosu treating him like a total bitch.
He's just like, nah.
The problem is, that's the only time you really get to see him fight. He did have another fight against Choji in the Chunin exam preliminary rounds, but that wasn't much of a fight at all. It just consisted of Dosu one-shotting Choji, then walking away. Then, before he could even make it to the final rounds, Gaara killed him basically off-screen. In the end, he and the rest of the Sound Ninja practically amounted to nothing more than jobbers for Sasuke to show off his curse mark power, and that's, like I said, a really big shame. Dosu is easily one of the coolest characters we've ever gotten to see, and it really sucks because I never catch anyone talking about this guy. For numero dos, we have good old Grandma Tsunade, somebody who isn't quite as obscure as Dosu, but definitely a character that doesn't receive as much praise as I feel she deserves. Seriously, dude, Tsunade's cool as fuck, okay?
Yeah, she is.
And it really hurts me knowing that she doesn't get any love just because the other 2 Sannin are so much more popular and are given significantly more screen time as well as significantly more to do than she is. But let me tell you why Tsunade is so awesome, because I used to think she was pretty lame. As a matter of fact, I used to actively dislike her. I couldn't tell you why now, because every time I see her,
she was a woman.
On screen, she's doing something really cool. But the point is, I'm very aware that there are people out there who just don't think Tsunade is all that great. So
look at the way she kills
about why she's so cool. Let's take a look at when she was introduced. Now, this was back during part 1, and it's pretty widely accepted throughout the community that part 1 has a much grittier, darker tone.
It does.
Shippuden does overall. And that you could really tell Kishimoto was aiming for something cynical and grounded. Tsunade was practically the embodiment of this cynicism. You can view a lot of the characters introduced in Naruto as foils to our main character. She's
got a lot of levels,
with the 3 strongest examples up to this point being Haku, Sasuke, and Gaara. And to a certain extent, anyway, Tsunade's another example of one. She sort of existed as a living reality check for Naruto. While he was young, naive, and idealistic, she was old, experienced, and very jaded. She took pleasure in nothing but vices and was bitter through and through because she'd been stripped of every source of hope and optimism that she'd ever had over the course of her life. And it was just this neat, fresh perspective that the audience hadn't yet seen before. Then after she met Naruto, she went through this really touching character arc where she slowly learned to trust people more, to be more positive, and to just be a better person in general. One of my favorite scenes in the entire manga is when she choke slams these 2 Leaf Elders into the wall of the Hokage office for not having enough faith faith in Naruto, just as a sort of display of how much this kid means to her. Now, I know a lot of people are going to respond to me saying that Tsunade is really cool by pointing out that she got slapped around by Kabuto, and that she, like, considered killing...
It was an interesting fight, though.
And these, more so the second one, are valid criticisms of her. You're allowed to dislike her for whatever reason if you want. But I think that both of those things just serve to make her more layered, more human, and it makes her change over time even more satisfying to watch. Then, of course, she's also just a fucking badass. Like, look at this panel right here where she threatens to kill Orochimaru. It looks so sick. She also puts
very
in
intimidating,
heavy work in the battle against Madara, and the fact that she's the best medical ninja, like, on the planet
It's
gives
so
her extra
handy.
points as well. The third character I want to talk about is the Iruka. And don't click off the video yet. I know nobody really cares about Iruka, but, like, hear me out, please. Really, my love for Iruka just sort of boils down to, yeah, he's a pretty chill dude. And that's all it really is to it. But for those of you who want me to say more, I mean, he's just this crucial part of Naruto's life.
Yes, he is.
Character growth. And now this is just a personal thing with me. I don't know if, like, anybody else is the same way. But just seeing this guy, you know, Iruka, acting as a father figure for this little kid who really doesn't have anybody that he can rely on or trust, it just warms my heart, because whether you're just starting the series or you've gotten all the way to the end, you know that Naruto deserves somebody like this. And the way he practically bent over backwards for the kid, risked his life for him in the first episode and the first chapter of the manga, I mean, it's just impossible.
Took a shuriken to the back.
Now, I know that this guy has next to no screen time. As a matter of fact, I'm sure he has less screen time than everyone else on this list, Dosu included, and all he ever, like, really does is take a shuriken to the back, then you don't see him again all that much, like, ever. But all of my points still stand. I've always liked Iruka. I think that the series would be a little bit weaker.
They don't forget him, and he asked him to be
his
dad at the wedding and that.
They do. Next in line, we have the ultimate trap himself, Haku, who has one of the coolest jutsu in the whole series, one of the coolest designs in the whole series.
Yeah.
I am still a bit confused as to why Kishimoto decided to go the whole, I'm gonna make him look like a really pretty girl, even though he's a dude route. Like, it's not like he even identifies as a girl, he just flat out says, I'm a dude, despite the fact that Kishimoto made him as effeminate as possible. He's like self-aware of this, because Naruto comments that Haku is prettier than Sakura, so, you know, it's, I don't know, I guess it's just funny. Regardless, Haku is a pretty unique character, not to say that he's, like, one of a kind, and there's nobody else like him in all of fiction, but I think this idea of a kid who worships somebody just because they saved them from a shittier life, and views themselves as nothing more than a tool for the person in question, it's just cool. I was actually gonna put Kimimaro on this list alongside Haku, but then I realized that they're practically the same character, and since Haku did it first, he gets the privilege of being included instead of Kimimaro. But honorable mentions to Mr. Bone Man. Kimimaro's probably got, like, my favorite Kekkei Genkai ever, even despite the fact that it doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, this isn't about Kimimaro, it's about Haku. Like I said, his philosophy of owing his life and practically everything he is and has ever achieved to Zabuza is really special, and I think it's always made him a really standout character for me. Not to mention, he's just got a really sick fighting style. He can weave seals with just one of his hands, the crystal ice mirrors are fucking crazy. Zabuza claims that he's stronger than fucking Kakashi is, and Ice Release is, without a shadow of a doubt, the coolest nature transformation there is. Even putting all that aside, Haku ended up, maybe indirectly, I guess, bringing Zabuza to tears, so no matter what, you've got to at least appreciate him for being capable of doing that. I don't want to start sounding redundant, but I mean, really, everything about him is just really cool. I like the way he speaks, the way he fights, all of his abilities, his backstory, even if it is a bit minimalist and sort of generic. And he's also the centerpiece of a scene that I really like, where Kakashi is about to kill Zabuza with the Raikiri, and Haku's standing still at Naruto's mercy, and just as Naruto gets the resolve to finally kill him, he whooshes over in between Kakashi and Zabuza in the nick of time just to save his master's life. Haku's just responsible for a whole bunch of really cool, really emotional shit in early Naruto. And I know that a lot of people like him quite a bit, but I don't think he gets as much recognition as he deserves. Finally, the last entry on the list is the man puppet, human puppet, puppet man, whatever, Sasori of the Red Sand. Probably my favorite member of the Akatsuki.
So cool.
Next to everybody's favorite, Itachi, Obito, and Pain. But still, Sasori's fucking awesome, okay? A lot of people don't pay much attention to him because, one, he quote-unquote lost to Sakura.
Sakura,
2, he's a puppet master, and Kankuro kind of sucks, so puppet masters don't really have the best rap. Then 3, he's a self-contained character that's introduced in the same arc as he dies in, so he's not really given a whole lot to do.
Yeah, it's
I don't
a shame.
care about any of that. Sasori's the man, and let me explain why. All of my reasons for liking Sasori are more or less centered around the cool factor I think he has. I just think that the guy is awesome. Turned himself into a puppet, turned the 3rd Kazekage into a puppet after he murdered him.
That's an army of
capable
puppets.
Of controlling up to 100 puppets at once, can administer lethal poisons with ease that have basically no known cures, has a sick design, has an equally awesome voice and overall attitude. I mean, the guy's just really fucking cool. And so many people give him shit for losing to Sakura, but, like, look, dude, he didn't lose to Sakura. He lost to the team of Sakura and Chiyo. Chiyo knew everything about him. Both of them came with an antidote created specifically to counter his poison. Chiyo was in possession of the 10 strongest puppets ever created. Sasori didn't really take the battle all too seriously until the very, very end. And of course, finally, it's heavily implied that he let himself die. It's not flat out stated that he, like,
it's just the symbolism of his mom and dad's puppets,
but Chiyo says that he didn't really try as hard as he could have to avoid the final attack that they threw at him. So the idea that Sakura beat him in a one-on-one fight is very, very misinformed. Plus, I mean, Sakura's not that bad. She's pretty tough, so even if he did lose to her in a fight, it's not like that would be the ultimate L one could receive. No. Really, my reasons for liking Sasori are just super subjective. Either you agree that he gives off this cool vibe, or you don't. I don't think there's much I can say to change your mind about him. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that wraps up the list. I believe I've said everything that I have to say about all the characters here. Now, I am curious to know what characters you guys think are underrated. As always, leave your responses in the comments below. If you're new here, consider subscribing to get updates when I post new videos. But above all else, just make sure you have a great rest of the day. Till my next video, talk to you later. Swaikage out. Bye.
Cool. Some underrated characters there. That was cool. Haku definitely was really cool. I remember reading the mangas and just being like, oh my god, what's going on? Some emotional stuff here. But yeah, that was cool. Who do you guys think was underrated? Go to that comment section. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.